Hello Adventure Dragons! On this week's episode, the front hatch gets put back together with a new lid and some things get taken apart. So the progress we have made feels a little less like progress because now we face new challenges and new decisions that have to be made. Okay, let's go. But before we get into the episode, I wanted to share with you a few little videos I took on my recent visit to the Vancouver Aquarium. I have seen these exhibits before, but seeing it and realizing that these are the waters that we will be exploring with our boat is a whole new experience, and I'm so excited for when we are out in the ocean on our boat. Ocean exploring has not really been something I have thought about a lot over the years, and I'll be honest, it took some time for Quinton to convince me that I should give it a try. I have not spent time on the ocean. I love my forests and lakes and rivers, but the ocean feels like a whole new world which I have not explored, but seeing these exhibits made me so excited to visit parts of British Columbia and the ocean and experience that for myself.
Alright, the next thing I'm going to work on is this hatch. Since this weld worked out so well on the surface, I'm just going to section this hatch and then rejoin it because it has a angle iron reinforcement around all the edges, and I'd rather just keep all that. We'll just we'll take a slice out of it. So, get this lined up. Also want to keep this handle, so I need to keep the back part of it, which means I gotta move both hinges, but that is just how it has to be, I think. I gotta find a tape measure. Alright, I got the door hanging on the one hinge that I'm going to keep. I'm going to cut it just past that hinge all the way up. This section of the door, because it has the handle in it, we're going to cut right here. We're going to join that up to it. Alright, I was trying to figure out how to transfer this underside line to the top side the easiest, and what I came up with is just to drill a hole there. I want to cut it with a skill saw on the top. So I'm going to do this, and then I know where to cut across the top. A 1/4 inch on either side, that'll be just perfect. Alright, we'll prep that door for welding. Alright, I got this all prepped and cleaned, and I'm just gonna try to get it as flat as I can. Put a couple clamps on it, hold it straight. Oh gosh. Okay, so I've put a shim underneath this side and I've forced down this other side. That gets it pretty close. I'm gonna have to take it. Oh, gotta get the ground clamp on here somewhere. That's too hot, or too high amperage for the thickness of the metal. I have beveled it as well, so it is pretty thin. So I'm gonna have to mess with my adjustments, which I hate doing because I have it set really nice right now. So now we're gonna start experimenting with settings. A bit spattery, which I think the amperage is a bit low for the wire speed. This seemed to be welding pretty good. I'm just going to slow down the wire speed a little bit. Yeah, with a little lean on it, I can get it a little bit closer to where I want it. I'm going to have to get up there and stand on it. Okay, I have made those settings even worse. Oh boy. I guess welding only on the one side of the V has pulled it up quite a bit. I'm gonna have to grind that out. Try to straighten it. Okay. What I'm gonna have to do is flip it over, straighten it this way. Alright, let's see how this thing fits. Alright, I think I'm gonna have to change the hinges so that they're closer to the edge. Pretty nice. Yeah, I'll just tweak the hinges and that'll work. Pretty happy with that.
Looks good.
Here's the update for the day.
It looks so new. Can I walk on it?
Yeah, doesn't need to dry.
Looks good.
This has one hinge still.
That
You didn't even notice it was smaller? Gosh.
Oh, I'm sorry. That looks really good. Look at that.
This has one hinge though.
Yeah, but I think that's what it needs.
No.
That's a little bit funky, but... What?
Fix it.
Oh, you are going to fix it.
It's just...
I mean, it's like not the end of the world.
No, it's no
not
good.
Great, but...
It'll fall off.
Will it?
Yeah. Down here, did you see that down there?
Yeah, you showed me that.
Oh.
Which one am I looking at?
That one.
Oh.
Best one ever.
Very nice.
So I just decided to TIG this weld on the cover just to clean it up a little bit. See if I can make it look a little bit prettier. Well, that looks a little better. I think it's still gonna sand it flat, see if I can make the weld disappear completely. But closer than it was. Oh, I got going on something here and I totally forgot to record. I'm just working on the hinges for the hatch. I had to move this one out, so I'm going to flip this one around and move it out as well. Otherwise the lid will just slide off, so it has to be flipped around so it's contained. Then welding this one to the lid, and that one will be on the outside. I'm just going to weld the other one to the deck, other half. Alright, I did a little cleanup and now let's lay some bigger beads here. I got the wrong mask on. Outer wire around the tip. I'm not sure if there's a better way, but I don't know about it. But every time I run out of a spool, the wire burns back and fuses it to the tip. I just can't seem to remember to replace the spool in time, and then I ruin it. And here we are again. Yep. Well, I'll get that fixed up. For those of you that don't already know how this spool gun works, is that there's a spool of aluminum wire in the back of the gun here, and it threads into a guide roller. And then there's a tip here that diffuses the gas. And then into that is the, I don't know, contact tip. Like that. And then the diffuser on there. And then the cap. So when it runs out of wire, this wire isn't feeding, so the electricity burns up the wire and fuses it to the tip there, and then kind of ruins it. So they aren't that expensive, and it's kind of nice to have a new one every once in a while anyways, but I've been going through one every time I go through a spool, so probably a little faster than I'd like to. Alright, there's our final product. Have to build up some welds underneath those. Again, not the prettiest thing, but it's pretty solid. Operates nicely. Alright, so I got this hatch door working pretty good. Last thing I need to do with it is, this is the old lock point. I'm going to move that to the middle here, weld that onto the door, and then weld it onto the deck. So that's what we're going to tackle here. Right, well, we figured the next thing to start getting our minds wrapped around is the dinette seating, and then the dash that runs across the front, and the dash that'll incorporate the steering and all the gauges and all that on the driver's side. Brought a stool in here just to get an idea of how high we'll be sitting and head clearance. Start removing some things. I'll remove the gauge cluster there and get some more of this out of the way, and then we can start tossing around some ideas of what goes back in. Alright, I've been staring at this, trying to build up the courage to cut out some more structure here on the old dash. Trying to figure out what's square to the boat and whatnot. So what I did was set up the laser here again and leveled it off the floor. So the laser is throwing a 90-degree line. So we have the line parallel to the floor. It is equal at both sides. And then it's throwing a vertical line up here. So off of that horizontal line, I measured up to find a level line that's also parallel to the floor across the back of the dash here and here, and then here. So I know that now that is parallel to the floor. And then I know that I have a vertical line right here in front of me. So I'm going to measure off of that line to choose my new spot that we're going to cut back the pathway into the sleeping berth in the front here. So I'm going to measure off of that line and then cut this back. And that'll all be square then to the floor. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw some lines here and cut across there, and we'll remove those two lower dash pieces. Alright, so there's my cut line. And then I'll mark out my vertical cut line here because we're going to bring that back a bit. More pieces cut off. Boy, a little discouraging to see it this way now. Just doesn't have as much shape to it. Lots to build back now. Well, you gotta tear it down to build it back the way you want it.